Alabama. How about Sweet Home, Idaho? This is day 2 of Fire Academy. Yes, I said Fire Academy. What do we call it? All my cameras are with me today. Even the backup. I run out of this, I run out of that, run out of this, I can go to that. It just might be over an hour long, so prepare yourself, get your popcorn ready. We're gonna go tear some cars up eventually, today and tomorrow. Let's see how good I film stuff. So how's your lovely morning? My morning is great. Little slack on sleep, I guess. Sticking the key in the ignition and making sure it stays running. There we go. So, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, there's a cop somewhere. There's a cop somewhere. Where is he? He's locked onto us. Wait, I'm in the driveway. How can he, must have been on the interstate. Anyways, let's get going and we'll see you in Coeur d'Alene, alright? And forgot about you guys. Look, they're putting up the communication tower. You want to watch? We'll switch the other camera here in a minute. I plugged in my phone to charge and I forgot to turn the power on. There, putting up the communication tower. Don't do me no good. We're gonna head down and tear stuff up. This is where I'm gonna put you on my chest. Something like that. And we're gonna play in the rain. Play in the rain. Full 50. It's gonna be a cold, wet afternoon. Even though it's 41 degrees. We'll see you in a bit. That way, and now pinch. It'll slide, but then it'll pinch. 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. One more time. Not gonna fit in there yet.
metal. Better?
Cut the hinge right out. Good quick. Did it cut?
No, that was good. Yeah, it's
Cut?
If you come up here and open this all the way, it'll create a focus point there.
Yep.
There you go. Hey, watch your hoses from that door.
Cut it.
Cut it.
You want this big boy? What's next?
We taking the whole side out?
We gotta pull the dash up next.
Dash?
Dash.
Okay.
Who wants to go for the dash?
We're getting this door, and then I think we're doing the cockpit.
Yeah.
I thought we were pulling the dash up, but that's alright.
About going between the hinges. If you're between the hinges, it's like twice as strong from where you're spreaded. If you go above that top hinge, then it's going to take that one hinge first, and then you work your way down. It's a little bit easier on your tool. This is a strong car.
Yeah. Cut that top one.
No, you can spread that. You're right on top of the hinge. Do one more try. Not off the arms. See what you got going on. You bring your tip back a little bit and use your tips. There you go. Okay. Once it starts tearing, you're chasing your tail, you know. So
at the bottom?
you can go on the bottom, but it has already weakened it, but it still has the strength of top and bottom in. You're just gonna fight it a little bit more. At this point, you got two guys working together. Better.
Usually I just go along.
Just make sure you're not going directly on top of that pin.
what I usually do, if I got a cutter behind me, I just spread it enough for them to cut it off.
Go all the way.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Grab the wire harness and everything in one bite. Ready to receive that door.
Door.
Ready to catch it. There you go. Sometimes that door is locked. You can't use the handle, so you may have to pry that off. Sometimes you just use the handle and it'll open up, but I'd rather pry it off.
I want to catch that.
Get the cutter stuff? Hey!
I was gonna work off the post while they were getting that one.
There you go.
We're almost there. X.
Went.
Yeah.
Get straight onto it. There you go. And then I'll spread it.
I'm going to get into the tensioner. It's going to pop here in a second. I'll get just right below the tensioner.
That's what I was looking at. Want to try next?
I want to stop you real quick. What do you do? What's your objective here?
I'm trying to spread it up and away so you can have a space to cut,
To get a second bite on it?
to get the cut on either side.
Okay.
So we can cut up here.
So one way to take that on is to come in from both sides, right in angle, in line with the rocker. I just want to know what you're doing. You're going to probably fight this a little bit as far as it tearing all over the place. Sometimes you have to come up a little bit higher, but you already started there. Let's just see what it does. Okay?
You want to try to cut it, or
Just see what his spreading does.
That's all
Cut
it was
it.
giving you? What's that? That's all it would give you? Yeah, it would start. It's starting to push it in. I was trying to get up and away, not in.
cut it on two
Number
sides?
two, the really low in those particular spots on feed posts, a lot of reinforcement. A little bit higher, not as much reinforcement. So stragglers in there.
I'll do it again, or?
Are you removing the V-post completely?
Yeah.
Cut it up here next. Try and see if you can come in from the straight up perpendicular to the car. There you go. Might be able to get it. guys are on it, I guess you guys want to pop that dash up real quick?
I was asking them.
To do to take the roof off, all we gotta do is one more time.
Fogged up.
One thing you could do with, if you wanted to remove this roof completely, one thing that you want to consider is leaving the last post to keep that keeps the lid stable and you know, risk that coming in. If you're a little bit shorter on people, you do like a little half cut and rotate the roof away from the patient, rotate it all the way around, put it on the hood. If you're going to remove it completely, then remove it completely. So we still have that. Do a half cut. Do a little bit different with this. Yeah, look at these seat posts are always going to be usually 2 cuts. Sawzalls, great choice here. You're going to get a lot of. That cut, we would have our people in place to be ready to receive it. So somebody at each corner, you didn't get all this. If you didn't get all of that and you wanted to rotate it, let's just say our victim's right here. You could leave that, we weakened it. It's usually harder on the seat post. If it was just the A post and a little bit of metal left, then all you do is just rotate it around and set it on the truck. It only takes 2 or 3 people.
Rotate your way. Where are we going?
Metal's still attached, so you got to push this way. There's a little bit of sheet metal there, still connected.
Fogged up. My safety glasses are all been sitting in the glove or in the side compartment for so long.
Okay, so a couple things. Start out with your pump over there, which is your instruction. Where you guys put it here, maybe out.
At this one, we got to contend with again.
So we've got 3 corners pinned down. Next, if we're not happy with this, but it's close, the next thing we can do obviously is take air out of the tires, right? So what are some different ways we can take air out of these tires? Take a valve stem remover, right? That's the nice way that the tow truck driver's gonna like.
I thought closer to power.
Yep. So we can take the point of the Halligan and put it in there and get the sidewall with it, right? Like this. Come in and bury it, and then pull this back and put the pin into the sidewall. Pop it that way. What I don't like to see, two things I don't like to see is, I don't like to see this. This looks like shit. And this is what gets caught on phones, and then something bad happens, and yeah, you look like that guy. And I don't like to see the knife come out and stab in the sidewall with a knife. I had a kid do that with a folding knife, and it wasn't locked, and it closed down on his hand and went all the way to the bone. So try to avoid that. So I like this method. If I'm running Joules, whoever's on the spreaders, typically I'll take, if I'm on spreaders, typically what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll pre-position my step chalk. I'll take the spreaders, I'll give myself a tiny little bit of lift, I'll leave it in place, I'll slide my step chalk into place, I'll pull my tool out, and then if I want to deflate that tire, I'll just come over and pinch the valve stem with my spreaders and then pop it out. Okay? In a pinch, we can use the cutters, and we can wrap around the rim and the tire and pop the tire with our cutters because it's very controlled. It's not my favorite way, but in a pinch you can do that.
The Halligan way, you're saying you just put it butt up against that sidewall and then pry it down, and it'll just...
It's pretty quick. Yeah, that works good.
Have you ran into any problems with that where tires have that really high rating?
There's some that you run into low profile tires, they're hard to pop. Heavy duty truck tires can be hard to pop. Then you just default to one of the other ways.
Okay.
So this is pretty solid. Kind of going back to roof removal real quick. We can flip the roof forward. We can take the roof off, right? So we would just take a Sawzall or an axe, cut across the windshield, cut the A-pillar, cut these up high, lift the roof off and remove it. We can also spin the roof. So we would come through, cut the A-pillar, take a Sawzall, cut all the way across, cut B's and C's up high, and then the last pillar, which is going to be the pillar over our patient, we're going to only cut half of it, and we're going to leave some tag metal, and we're going to spin the roof so that the windshield moves towards the hood. And this is what holds the roof, this bit of tag metal that you left on here. It acts as a hinge. Take the roof, you rotate it 90 degrees, and you set it down. We started doing that when I've got some friends that work at Corona Fire, and they don't get any room on the freeway. They got rigs flying by, mostly semis that are doing 70 miles an hour. You take a roof and you lift it straight up and down like this, and a semi goes by and it has a wake behind it, an air wake, and it picks up it'll grab the roof and take it out of your hands.
Good enough wake that'll knock a motorcycle off his seat.
So they decided, rather than getting the roof open like this, they wanted to keep it flat. So the roof spin is a little bit of a lift and then a pivot, and then it sets it back down. Around here, we usually have a lot of room on 90 or wherever we're working. We don't have people flying right by us. What we do have is gusts. We have wind gusts. Today was supposed to be 50 mile an hour wind gusts. It didn't happen, but they were calling for it. So you get out there and it's gusting up to 30 or 40 miles an hour, probably not going to want to stand your roof up on its nose. The last thing with taking roofs is we always leave the pillar over our patient for last. This is our last bit of protection for the patient inside the rig. Does that make sense? Okay.
The first way you said, the bread and butter way, you said there's 3 ways. You said you cut low on the A, high, and then you were describing flip. That was the first one, the flip.
You're going to roll it forward on using the glass as a hinge.
Well, don't go low, you just cut middle, right?
It doesn't really matter. You can cut it up high if you want. If you cut it in the middle, it tends to snap a lot better. If you cut it down low, it keeps most of the glass on the dash.
And you don't have to do anything for the windshield, it'll just naturally bend
once
itself.
you start picking the back end of the roof up, it'll start cracking the windshield. I hate broken glass windshields because of the tiny little fine particles of glass that come off of it. So I wear my hood always on extrication and training. If we're doing anything with the windshield, I'm going to pull my hood over my mouth. And at least I get a little bit of filter. So most extrication calls, I wear this pretty much the whole time. What else? That's about it for cribbing. Pretty simple. Triangles. I don't like 4-point cribbing. I'm not going to say that that's the way you're going to do it at your department, because you're probably not going to change the world, but this is the way we do it. So 4 points is easy because nobody has to think. But it doesn't always set you up for success. If you do 4-point cribbing, it's always here and mirrored on the other side. And then when you've got to set up for rolling off of a B pillar, you've got to recrib it. So I would rather think a little bit than default to the dumb way to do things. Let's pull these out and throw them back over there by the crib tower. So you get a vehicle on a sled, you're going to walk around, check out the vehicle, or maybe you're assigned to stabilization. I was talking earlier about I like to at least make things better. So if I can get a charged line on the ground and I can make the stabilization a little bit better before we actually stabilize the vehicle, that's what I'm going to do. So just by simply sticking this under here, we can take a lot of the wiggle out of it. Then I can go around the rig. I didn't make contact with the patient. I never looked him in the eyes. You know, you can do a flyby, take a peek at them. What do they look like? Do they look sick? Try and start playing the game in your head. What are we doing? Is it feeling like a rapid, or does it feel like we're going to take our time?
Do you like not even talk to them?
I don't. No, not if I'm doing my hot lap. Or I'll get to you in a second, or you know, yeah. Certainly don't touch them unless you want to be stuck there. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Being stuck with patients is not a bad thing, but it depends on what your motive. Yeah. So throw something in there. Then we're going to look at stabilizing this with struts. Who here has struts in their department? Everybody? You don't have struts? Okay. So yeah. So who has what?
Yeah, 42s.
42s. Everybody knows how to use 42s. So all we're going to do is throw a couple 42s in the back of this.
Not so much. We just joined rescue.
Oh.
So
I don't even know what's on there.
Yeah. Exactly. We got 42s.
Yeah. Okay. So the nice thing about 42s is they're simple. The best things that were ever created are super simple. So the deal with the 42s is
you don't have to be a rocket scientist to throw them together.
Don't pull the pins and
stabilization. So the car on its roof, we're typically just going to pin the back end down. So all we got to do is we're going to make a tension buttress system. So we're going to have two struts that are tied together. The tension is between the feet and the buttresses are the struts. So we have two struts pointed together. The tension is drawing the feet together. We create some pressure, and that creates a wider footprint, lower center of gravity. What you're going to do is create a purchase point like they already did here for us in the sheet metal, not in the plastic. Usually at this line right here where it turns into bumper is going to be plastic. So create a purchase point on one side and then mirror that purchase point on the other. Some vehicles will have a little plastic blinker or marker light that's on the side right here. Behind that plastic, it's hydroformed into a little funnel where the bulb goes, which is super strong. Its flat sheet metal is extremely weak. Hydroformed sheet metal is very strong. So you take the point of the strut, smash it through the plastic, it finds its way home and where the light bulb would be. Great spot for a strut. What we did here is we just took a Halligan. It's one of the few times you can swing your Halligan and be okay with it. The other way to do it is to place your Halligan and call for a strike from your Axeman. Create a nice spot. All you need is a big enough hole to start the tip in there, mirror it on the other side, set this up till it looks like it's about a 45-degree angle, move it away from the vehicle and pin it high on both sides. If only one sleeve is showing, you're going to put two pins in the one sleeve. Once that's been done, you're going to tie your feet together, and I'll show you how to do that. So why don't you why don't you guys take the struts and make 45-degree angles and insert them into where we already made purchase points for you.
Usually 45 is arm length, isn't it? So you're going 45, you want
down there.
Make that
Put it in this one.
pull it away from the vehicle.
right
and
there's
pull it up another
45 is usually arm length.
What do you mean?
So where my foot is to where my arm is, that's 45.
Because this blue part removed? That over? There we go. When you're saying if you only had one exposed, you put both of them.
So this one right here, we've got all 3 sleeves showing. You want to pin the top of the red and then the top of the white. Like that. If you only had blue coming out, then you just put 2 pins in the red.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Anytime, the best way to set these up if you want to be high speed is you're going to walk up and you're going to set up the vehicle, make it look like a 45-degree angle, pull it away from the vehicle, and then line up your pins as close as you can, set your pins, and then put it back in the vehicle. And you're thinking, well, how's that different from anything else? Well, it's different than putting this into the vehicle, getting it to about to a 45-degree angle, leaving this head in place, and then trying to kick the base around until you line the holes up. Because you look like monkey fucking football trying to get your holes lined up by going like this. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You go boom, boom, line it up, pin it, stick it in place. Bang, bang, bang. All right? So this one's good. That one over there is good. So now, before we throw the line in place, you're going to stand back and look at it and go take a look at your struts and make sure that they fall and one falls in the other one's shadow. You know what I'm saying? How does that look? What happens when I tighten these feet up? It's going to pull it out further, right? So make sure these are lined up. Is that okay?
No.
Okay.
Top ain't in the
So
hole.
we put these in, we screwed up. This one's out wide. We tighten it up. We don't want to go backwards. The quick fix for that is to grab another strap, tie it to this base, and then run this base somewhere and anchor it. Put some tension on it, and then it's not going to walk away from you. Okay? So we'll get these set. Then we're going to take the strap. If this is put away right at 3 o'clock in the morning when you go to use it, you're going to tip it on its side. You're going to unspool it. You're going to know that the fingers that are pointing down is the side of this that extends, and the fingers that are pointing up are the fixed side. So I'll pull some slack into it. I can take this, make sure that these are lined up so that they're not twisted. I'm going to undo the fixed side. I'm going to have somebody that's going to work with me, and I'm going to give them the fixed side. They're going to keep their hooks pointed down. So you're going to grab that. Then I'm going to give you this, and you're going to feed me slack and keep all of this squared away. Okay? And I'm going to walk away from you. Okay. Now I'm going to call Pretension. He's going to pull this in a straight line and take the slack out, or take all the slack out of the system. And that's it. Once you pull tension, you let it go, because we don't need it pulled tight anymore. Then I'm going to operate this end over here, right? So there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to do 2 things wrong. Who can name them?
You're not holding the.
Yeah, you're not holding the. Plus you're underneath the vehicle.
No, the road going straight.
Both your knees.
On both my knees. And And this is the weakest possible way I can operate this camper. Out in front of me like this. So, if I turn like this, now if I need to leave, I'm pointing in the right direction, I'm on one knee, and I can put a whole bunch of power in it. Right? So, tighten that up until it's taut. Take a look at everything. Make sure my strap falls in line with the other two struts. Release this up a little bit. This is done fast, right? So this is stabilization. Now if we're going to do a lift, typically with a lift we want to start at a little bit shallower angle. So we want to bring the feet in a little bit. I was talking earlier about vectors. So the closer I bring the feet in, when I draw them in even closer, I'm pushing up with a lot of force, right? If I put them wide like this and I apply tension to the feet, my force is going in, right? So this works really good to create a wider footprint. This works real good for pushing up an inch or two. Does that make sense? Problem with, you get this angle too steep, you get what's called a house of cards. You get them all the way standing up and they'll fall over side to side. So don't start them too shallow. So
can you get a little bit of
10
lift?
minutes, Eric.
10 minutes, okay.
Then you get a little bit of lift. You already starting to stabilize it. You just need a little bit of lift. Tighten it. Get a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we would do with this right here. So in this event, if we wanted to take the roof off of this and slide it out, we would just put more tension on this. And what are we lifting? How much do we need to lift?
An inch.
All that's touching right now is the nose of the car and the brow line of the windshield. To get this, to cut this free and pull it out, all we need to do is take pressure off the brow line and put all the pressure on the nose of the vehicle. Okay, so you have somebody watch this.
Yeah, take that off to get the trunk and then
So the trunk out of the way and go through the back window.
Get the
I think
cutter.
that's a great idea the way the
What is that?
trunk is all trunk's off center. Say the trunk's closed, there's two trains at the top. You can either start kind of here and work forward and backwards, or you can start at the trunk and work forward. But since this trunk's already open, I'd do exactly what you guys are talking about and start working that way.
So cut the trunk right at these.
And you would try and
I'd
go
try to cut it
through
back
the
in
window
here out
for
of our
time
way.
sensitivity, or try and cut that piece out.
I
to
would
go.
take this entire piece out
We got to cut all
because
this
let's
out.
say that you have to remove someone with C-spine.
Mhm.
So we want to create as much space as we.
First thing, you cut the trunk and get that out of the way, and
Get
Yeah.
the cutters, cut it here, cut it here, and then make two lines going that way with the cutter, and then get this back dash out of your
We
way.
have a sawzall over here.
So you guys have access to all these. You have
We got
cutters,
with the
spreaders,
huge
there's
cutters.
saws all over there. Ram.
And getting the seat out of the way.
You know what?
So get the seat out of the way. Most seats fold down though. That's the nice part on some cars. They lay down. See, ours hooks up different. We had one like that. Did you guys get that from us, or did you buy your own?
We got our own, I think.
Yeah, we have one too. I don't know where it's at. Let's see if I can hook it up right this time,
I
right?
do believe. I don't think Tyler does anything with those. So as a quick tip, if you
Right,
guys
get it
are
right
ever
this
start
time.
working as like a driver, or you're the one who sets up the extrication equipment, I saw you move the cart a lot closer, which is good. But if you pulled it another 5 feet forward, if you can, depending on traffic, it's going to be a lot quieter working environment, because it's like the generator and your camper, right? You guys have campers and generators. You don't put it right outside the door. You just create a little more. So even that small bit, as long as you're not putting it out in traffic or something, it's just a quick little tip. So how many guys do we got? We got 5 guys, right? How many guys can be working in this area at once, do you think?
One right now.
1. 2 max? Do you think someone could come over here and start working and doing some things? So that's where we can start splitting up, and we can do a little divide and conquer and get a little quicker, right? We just want to coordinate and be in touch with each other.
We're going to be cutting, right?
You're gonna take the sawzall and go around the
I'll
front
show
and
you
try to
how
cut
we can be
through.
doing both.
You guys
One of the areas I always want to be cognizant of, though, is if we have to spread the trunk, we're going to pop the trunk. This will pop with some force. And a lot of times there is a void space here. So if we got two guys, your name's Ed? Doug, sorry. We got Doug over here working. We want to let Doug know, hey Doug, pause for a second on your cutting over there. We're going to pop the trunk, and now I feel safe. This almost serves as a shield for you. You can be starting working here and you can be clipping this, you know. Just be careful that you're coordinating with each other, and that's where your IC's kind of standing back. He's that safety officer taking everything in. So go ahead, you can pop that. So Doug, here, where I would firstly start is I would start whipping and moving all of this, pulling this stuff, making sure, checking everything out, getting all that out of my way.
If it'll start.
It should.
That's like our motor we got.
This is where you might want to coordinate so that doesn't fall on him.
Hold on, the top one, I got this.
If I can hold it up.
Yeah, he's just got it. You're fine. Good. Anybody know how to get this out of the way quick?
Twist
it. Threading. But if you take it, bend it over. Maybe.
Take that where that speaker hole is and just squish it.
There it goes.
Yeah, just squish it and then I'll cut it.
Versus getting it and trying to do it with your fingers.
I was gonna say crimp it from the speaker hole back this way. From that speaker hole back here, squeeze it.
What's something else that would work very well? Yeah. What you just said?
Got the saws on it.
And where in particular? Where can I go very fast?
You already use the hole.
So stop this big speaker hole here. Now if I look at it, and I look here, and I cut here, do I feel like that's a good space to work in? I think so. I think that's good. I'm moving very quick, but running my saw off through here. That's the area I want to start. One guy up here, the one guy fully squatted down. As long as this guy keeps tabs, this guy keeps his head down, away you go. Yep. Him come in with the cutters.
Hold on.
You can be going this way, and he'll keep tabs of where his cutting blades are, making sure he doesn't. Always cut when you're using the cutters or the sawzall or whatever you're using. Always cut as flush as you can to that out. Like these bars, I can't see it, but
one
Is there
popped
anything
out.
sticking up? They fell out.
Yeah.
These ones are gonna fall out. On the other vehicle, they just cut them, and then they had same with the hinge. They just did a really good job. They cut the hinge first and cut it right near the hood. Well, then they had the 6-inch dagger hanging out here, right? Or someone's gonna be walking, moving back and forth. So good. Keep on going. You guys notice what he exposed? Erik and Tyler was talking about pulling one side, looking from the other. We can't necessarily do that, but what I can do is, here's pretty safe, or I could peel down here, where I can have a direct line of sight. So, what do we want to do next? Do you want to use cutters, or do you want to finish up with the sawzall? Because we want to remove this whole chunk.
I was going to use the cutter, because I get there's a channel right there on both sides.
Okay, so go for it.
Where is it?
Right here. Change your angle as you cut like this because you're up against that back seat wall.
Sawzall in here and we had the tip going and we were running, right? Well, we decided to stop and then we decided to use the cutters. Well, this is a good lesson, I feel like, because the teeth of the cutter never go as deep as you think. They always go a lot less. And once again, I'm about being smooth and less movement. Since I was already engaged with the Sawzall, I would typically just zip this all the way across because now we essentially have 3 moves, right? We had the first one where we stopped here, we had the second one where we came in with the cutter, so now we have the 3rd move to finish it. Same with the bottom. Not a bad idea. That's why we're here. We're getting familiar. We're working. We're going. We're learning. So it's good. Yeah. So if you were to just commit with the Sawzall, come across, it's going to leave a nice smooth edge. Down here we might, if you come in here and you do it smooth, then it'll work good. But what happens if you would have had the shear effect and then you have this chunk of metal now? The Sawzall leave a nice clean edge. I really like the Sawzall in this application. The hydraulics have their place in this work area, but once you start getting deeper, it starts getting harder and harder. And the Sawzall is a small, easy like tool. Yeah, go for it. Not saying what you did was bad. I've just experienced this before. If you guys continue to have ideas, I want to continue to cover them because it might be something new, a newer way. There you go. Let's make sure you guys get this cool cut. Okay, what's that? What changed?
We're up against this
right?
wall, so we'll have to cut it with the cutter.
Okay.
Because I can't go this
way. What can we do? Can't go that way. What's something else we could do?
There too.
Okay. You can turn it back. What else can you do?
Go this way
Can you
too.
turn that Sawzall blade upside down?
Got rid of that.
You should be able to pop that Sawzall blade out and flip it around. Most of them you can. Now you can continue. I don't know what you're dealing with. I just heard the saw change.
This is where the cutters would come in handy because we got this
But yeah,
right here.
look at how much more. I just took away about 5-6 inches that I said I couldn't cut just by flipping around.
I say keep going with it because, like you said, now we're like on 5 or 6 movements.
Keep going with the Sawzall?
Yeah.
Sure. We can do that.
Flip it around.
What are you doing?
Oh, we're up against this.
Oh, there's a little lip.
Me, I would have just grabbed the hydraulic cutters and just cut it out.
Either way, which way do you want to do it? You're the man with the tool.
It'd be easy, faster to go that way with the hydraulic.
Okay, let's do it. Get on in there.
Oops. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm clumsy.
You want to move this out of his way, or?
Just like that.
Move, what's that?
Oh, I thought maybe you could move.
I better come around and look.
It's gonna be a 2 cut, but
Oh, okay. I see what's going on now.
yeah, see, get up with that with the blade. One more cut.
You gonna be able to get deep enough?
That's why I was thinking we could send that out of the way.
Got lucky. Got it.
And you still got one more up on top.
Hold that tool for a minute.
Just like that.
So as you can see though,
Piece of metal.
look where the Sawzall cut.
Oh, we're done with that training today. It'll end up being a 3-part movie. Give me enough content for 3 to 4 days. I'm just cruising Coeur d'Alene, the helm. That's where we'll see you in a bit. Well, somewhere up here is the wreck. What tow company is working in. Transmission being a dick. Yeah, it would be out of transmission must be getting hot. Let's see what the transmission temp is, yeah. ISP. Yep, somebody dumped it. Zanetti's is up here, so that means, oh, it was on our side. Zanetti's is up here. Went down the hill too fast, huh? Took the corner too fast. Well, I tell you, you can only do 60 miles an hour on this road. Coming down the hill in a truck. Doing that sometimes